So today, with all my friends at FaveQuilts.com, I'm really excited to show you how to put together this quilted velvet Christmas tree skirt. And it is something that I've been working on lately, and I'm so happy with the way it came out. And you can see it's nice and beautiful red velvet with white bias binding on the edge, and then the back it's a contrasting Christmas color, and the seams are serged, and it's really easy to put together, and I'm going to show you how. So what we have gone ahead and done is taken my pattern and split it up into 5 different PDF files that you can print out at home and put this together yourself. So here is my pattern, and it's much too large to print out on your printer. So the 5 different PDF files, different pages that look like this, just different lines and markings, and the entire pattern. So what you'll do is you'll print all of them out, and I've gone ahead and done that, and then you'll cut them out, making sure to leave some of the blue outline showing. And you'll just take them all, and what you can see are the markings right here. Numbers, lines. So what you will do is you'll take the numbers and you'll match them up just like that. And it's a really nice idea to put this together on a piece of cardboard so that you have a really nice secure piece of pattern. So if you want to make more than one, you can, or if you want to share this with a friend, you can, but just go ahead and start assembling your pattern. And there you have it. It's that simple, it's that easy, and here is my pattern exactly. So what you're going to do now is take your rotary cutter or scissors or whatever you're going to use, and you'll just trim along the outside of the pattern to finish this. And up at the top, just take some care, make sure you get the scallop. It's very important. This is at the top, this is where the tree is going to go. So you'll just discard any excess or save that little piece of cardboard for another project, but here you go. And so now you need your fabric. Let me just grab mine. And so what I have done is already cut out the pieces for you, but I just want to show you this is a velvet that is 45 inches in width, or 45 inches in width, and folded in half, because it folds in half very nicely. And 45 inches, very important because you'll be able to cut 2 at once. So just fold your velvet in half, lining up your edges very carefully, and you can even secure with a pin here if you want. But then you'll just lay your pattern down, and you can see how the 45 inches, just enough to give you a nice piece of velvet, just the size that you want. And then what you'll do is you'll cut this piece, and then you'll take your pattern and you'll flip it over to really utilize your piece of velvet. And you need 1.5 yards of velvet to make this project. That is 45 inches in width. So then, for the back, and I have a lot of this fabric. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I bought a ton. But you need 1.5 yards for the back as well. And since this quilting cotton usually only comes in 44-inch widths, and unfortunately that 1-inch difference really does make a big difference, what you'll have to do is you can't fold it in half. You'll just have to lay out your piece of fabric all the way entirely and just squeeze in all your little petals, and try and get a piece of cotton that has a pattern that's going every which way, so that when you sew it together on the back, it doesn't matter which way it's going, even if you had to cut it sideways and one piece going straight. And that might make a little bit more sense when I show you the back of this. So you can see how on the back the pattern was going all in one direction, all the lines, and since that happened and I had to cut it in many different directions, depending on which way I cut it, the lines are going a different way for each segment of the back. But that's fine, because you won't really see the back, and it's kind of nice just to have a pretty print back there to look at if you want. And then if you choose one that's like this reindeer and is going every which way, you won't even notice. So what I'm going to do right now, and oh, by the way, you'll need to cut out 8 of those, 8 each pieces of velvet and 8 each pieces for the back. And what you'll do with those, once you get them all set out, and I have already gone ahead and done this, but you will take your piece of velvet, and if you want, you can even monogram or embroider a nice little design right here. And this is for my sister. She's a lion now, not a Tamez anymore, but that's okay. And really excited to give her this Christmas tree skirt. How exciting. And what you'll do is you'll take your fabric for the back and just lay it out. And you'll take some of this temporary spray adhesive, and it's made specifically for sewing purposes. So it's not going to gum up your needle, it's not going to cause any extra friction when you're sewing. And you'll just take it. Well, actually, I've found, and I should mention this, that you'll take your velvet and put the velvet down first. Take your adhesive and shake it up a little bit. And just go ahead and spray. Now make sure there's not really anything else. I should have covered up the velvet a little bit around, because you don't want the spray adhesive to get on anything. And I found that it's a lot easier to drop the cotton onto the velvet than the velvet onto the piece of cotton. So just matching up that curve. And dropping down the cotton right down and smoothing it out. Now even if you have a little bit of the velvet showing, that's okay, because what we're going to do now is take it and flip it over and look at the edges of the velvet. You don't want any excess cotton showing on the velvet, because what we're going to do is use the edge of the velvet as a sewing guide. So if you have cotton peeking out underneath, it could throw you off. So just go ahead and trim it off. And here, let me get this right here so you might see a little better. Right here, just trim that little piece off right there. And at the bottom as well, all this excess cotton that's peeking out from underneath. That's okay, just trim it off. And there you go. And now you're all ready to take this to your sewing machine. And what you'll do is do that to all 8 pieces, and you'll wind up with 8 of these all ready to sew up at once. It's a good idea to get everything to go at once, since you're doing 8 of the same thing. So what I'm going to do now is clean all this off and go get my sewing machine, and I'll be right back.